Welcome to Figuring Out Homestead Life with Ginny and Allison. This episode is brought to you by ZiegenVine Homestead, a place where you can connect with nature and yourself. Visit the website at www.ZiegenVineHomesteadLLC.com. There you go. Or just Google it. Hi, Ginny. How are you?
Hey, Allison. How are you doing?
Struggling getting words out today.
That's okay.
Yes.
Just a podcast. Doesn't matter. We can talk.
That's right. That's right. For all of our, 2 listeners?
I think there's
Maybe
more than 2. Me and you are 2. There has to be more than 2.
That's right. I was listening to an old episode today on my drive back from work.
Yeah.
The one we did with Jennifer Whittle from Farm 119.
Oh, okay.
About the pigs, which is kind of on topic for today.
Yes.
Ish. But we'll avoid that for right now. It is gorgeous here. Like, summer has happened. We went from winter to summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here too. Well, the weekend was like, felt like summer. I couldn't believe it. And then even Monday morning, I went outside to let out the chickens, and I was like, I had a jacket on. I was sweating. I'm like, okay, I think like we've passed the turn here. Like, we're gonna be good. And then Tuesday, Wednesday was like cold and rainy. So I was like, no. But it's better today. It's nice out again. So
it's gorgeous. Trees are blooming. The dandelions are popping like crazy. And I'm really missing my bees.
Oh, when do your new bees come?
Middle of May, hopefully. I was texting with Becca. We actually did speak on the phone. The text conversation was a real conversation. So the middle of May, which is also kind of on topic for today. So, one baby goat surprised us, came a little bit early, but he's perfectly fine and healthy and growing like a weed. Clancy, his name is Clancy. He's the cutest little fella. And then I've got 3 more that are super close to getting. So, yes.
So then they'll be around for the Mother's Day goat yoga or goat snuggle session that you're doing.
We're doing goat cuddling for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And then Mother's Day weekend, we're doing goat cuddling. And then we just scheduled a private goat yoga session for a bachelorette on Saturday morning. Not this Saturday, the Mother's Day weekend Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 more private. I feel like I'm bragging. I'm not bragging. It's kind of crazy.
You're not bragging.
We have 2 more private sessions that we're working on getting scheduled, and we're mowing. We are mowing like mad.
To get ready for like all the trails and all that jazz.
The trails, and just, we have to mow before the grass gets 8 inches tall or a foot high. Yes. Has a special.
Oh, go ahead.
Randy has a special project that he's building in the barn that I cannot reveal anything about until Sunday afternoon.
Oh.
We're hosting Cameron's birthday party Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay. So fun.
It's kind of, I can send you a picture, but I can't share it with anybody until that's. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun thing for the farm.
Yeah, awesome.
You don't have enough fun things here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. What's going on in your world?
Let's see. Well, we're doing raised beds like in the front yard now. So we got those all set up, and we got 11 yards of compost delivered on last Thursday or Friday. And we filled all the boxes on Saturday. It was a lot of work, many wheelbarrow loads full. Luke thinks it was like at least 100 each for like each of us back and forth with the wheelbarrow. And because of the way the beds are designed, which isn't really great, but for filling them, you can't just dump the wheelbarrow in because it'll just dent the whole. So you have to shovel it into the wheelbarrow and then shovel it out of the wheelbarrow. So that was a long project, but now that awful part is over. Now the fun part has started. And so I planted a bunch of seeds and stuff out there on Sunday and put out my onion sets and my potatoes and stuff like that. So we got that going on. And then earlier today, I just went up and picked up from the post office my meat chicks. So those guys are new now in the workshop area in the little brooder. They were very thirsty and hungry. So they're doing good, though. They seem like they've just been here for like 2 hours. But
how many did you get?
16.
Okay. And they all survived so far?
Yeah, they all look good. Yeah.
Shipping
so far, so
well.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they shipped last night, and then I picked them up this morning. So really fast.
Kim and her husband bought meat birds, and I think they got 60, and they lost 14 because they were delayed in shipping.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why I was asking how many.
Yeah. Did they get stuck like in transit somewhere, or?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, see, that's scary. That's why it's like I'm always so anxious when they send the email, like your chicks have shipped, and then I just start like refreshing the tracking like over and over again, like where are they?
Yes.
Because I feel bad, like the poor things, if that happens.
Yeah. We have not gotten any kinds of chicks yet. Our plan is to after we get back next week.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So yeah.
So I think that's about it with stuff going on here. Got my seedlings started.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's it.
We built some raised beds also. Randy built them. I can't even claim to have helped. I may have put a couple screws in, but he did the majority of the work. I did paint. I did some of the painting. He did the majority of the work. And then as far as filling them goes, thank you God for tractors. Because I can't imagine filling those by hand. Holy moly. You guys did a lot of work filling yours. So
yeah, my back was not thanking me the next morning.
No. I did plant, I haven't gotten it much in the ground. I did plant some blueberry bushes that we got last year that sat in the garden all winter. I finally got those in the ground. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm hoping to get grapes this year. That's something I want to try to do. Because I have like a raspberry area, but the raspberries are kind of old. They don't really produce anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think I want to take them out. And plus they're the thorned kind. Yeah. So I don't really, they're kind of a pain anyways, because I can't just go out there spontaneously. I need to remember gloves or else I'm like getting all poked. So I'm like, I think I want to rip those out and put grapes. We'll see.
Okay. We have raspberries from Scott that they have, I think they're supposed to produce fruit this year. They haven't produced fruit yet.
Mine are from Scott too. We got them the first year we moved here. So they're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old now. So
ours are only a couple years. So, and I noticed out at one of the tent sites, the wild blackberries, Randy mowed like the massive patch of them down, but I noticed some of them are coming up. So I might go out there and dig some up and move them to my meditation garden.
Oh, nice.
My meditation, it's a meditation permaculture garden. So if I just take the naturally growing ones, sounds like permaculture to me.
Right? Cool. I love blackberries too, and they're so expensive to buy them at the store. Like a little tiny things like $5-6. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. So. I like going out to the back field and picking them and just eating them right off the vine. So it's not a vine, it's a whatever it's called. Yeah. So do we want to get into today's topic of conversation?
Yeah. So we're talking about like disappointments / plan changes on the homestead.
Yes. When things don't go as we plan.
Yes.
And that could be for a multitude of reasons. Life happens. Financial things happen. Injuries happen. Yeah. And you have to just kind of pivot.
Roll with the punches.
Yes. Where do you want to start on that topic?
Well, do you want me to like share something of mine I've had to do that we've dealt with that is like a disappointment, change, or
If
of
you're
that
comfortable
sort?
with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is what it is. So it's like, So, well, you referenced the episode with with that we were talking about the pigs.
Right, with
So,
Jennifer, yes.
yes. So, one of our big things that we were supposed to do this year was get 2 piglets and raise pigs for the first time. And I was very excited because we've been talking about it for a while, and this was finally the year we were going to do it. But unfortunately, our house and other things had a different plan that required a lot of unplanned finances, a very significant amount, so much so that I couldn't really justify trying to buy fencing and feed and other things like that. Like the actual piglets were hard, they weren't very much money. That was like whatever, but I needed the fencing and the other stuff to keep them, contained, and their food and all that jazz. So that unfortunately had to pull the plug on that, and it was really disappointing. So that, but we were able, thankfully, to take care of the things at the house that needed urgent care. So that was
Yes.
really what was most important. That we were able to get our plumbing and our septic fixed and things that you really, really need. So I don't want to be sharing the trough with the pigs. I wanted my own running water.
Yes.
So yeah, so that was disappointing. And the guy I was supposed to get the piglets from was really understanding, because I was embarrassed having to call him and tell him, like, I don't think I can get the piglets anymore. I'm really sorry. I just felt like a ding dong. But he was really nice. And, the deposit was supposed to be non-refundable, but he was like, oh, I'll get you the deposit back. And I was like, well, I want to get them next year. So now he has the whatever. So now I'm all set to get them for next spring. So now, when things slow down, we're just going to slowly chip away, getting the area ready. It doesn't have to be a rush. We can just buy little things at a time, whatever. So it'll work out in the end. It was disappointing in the moment. Because then also when you share plans that you're going to have with others, especially like on here, like it's like not even just people that I know, it's like strangers. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, now I kind of feel like it's just I don't even know if embarrassing's the right word, but I just feel almost like, I don't know, like an imposter or something. Like, I don't know. I just like, it's just this weird feeling. So
I
like,
understand
she
what
said
you're
she's going
saying.
to do all this.
I understand what you're saying and how you're feeling, but things happen, Ginny. Things
Yeah.
happen, and don't feel bad about what's the quote? What other people think of you is none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're an amazing person, and I know homesteading, choosing to live a more self-sustaining, growing your own food is a hard thing to do. It's expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you have something like a septic or other issues come up, it's like you have to take care of what has to be taken care of. And
Right.
you made the right choice. You guys made the
Mm-hmm.
right choice by saying we're not doing it this year. But you're not giving up completely. And
Right.
even if
Right.
you did change your mind, even if, I mean, you're entitled to change your mind. If you said,
I
nope,
know.
I don't want to do pigs. I've heard too
Yeah.
many horror stories. But
Yeah.
it is, you're allowed to change your mind, and you're allowed to put it off until next year. And you don't need my permission or anybody else's permission to do that. So, somebody must be
Yeah.
barking.
No, she did. She was. Yeah. I'm like, she never does this. And now she's running in the room all like, and she just went away. Who knows? So she probably saw a leaf like floating down the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was just, that was a recent one of mine that was like a bigger one. Um, so what do you have any like
So,
specific?
well, this was so COVID. I mean, we were planning on getting alpaca in
Mm,
February, March of 2020, and then COVID shut down the planet. And we had started building an alpaca shed, and then again, COVID shut everything down. New York State shut down, so there was no whatever travel. Oh, the sky
mm,
is and sorry. And so Randy and I had a heart-to-heart conversation, and I would really wanted the alpaca. I was like, they're cute. That was the only reason why I wanted them. They're cute. And then we made the decision, do we really need to add another animal to the farm? And when we searched, when I soul searched, it was like, yeah, we don't really need to add another animal. We don't need to add something else to take care of to the farm. And then over the course of the past 4 years, I've noticed a trend. Like the YouTube channels that I follow, the homesteading YouTube channels that I follow, they all do whatever they do, but they all kind of jump on board with a trend. Somebody starts something and then everybody else starts doing it. Like right now, it seems like coffee beans. All these homesteading channels are starting to roast their own coffee beans and sell their own coffee beans. Not all of them, a handful of them. The homestead dairy cow. I would love to have a homestead dairy cow. It makes no sense for a household of 2 people to have a dairy cow.
Right.
Unless I'm providing milk to, my entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
my entire neighborhood, which, houses are pretty far apart. So it makes, there's things that make sense, and then there's things that's like, I would love to do that, but in reality, it's the expense and man hours. So human hours, people hours. Another disappointment is when an animal dies.
Yeah.
Last year, about this time. Last year about this time, Lorraine was super sick. She ended up with listeriosis, and I lost her.
And one of your goats, right? For those that don't.
Sorry. Lorraine was one of our does. She's Maggie and Max's mom. Cora's kid, and Maggie and Max's mom. And I lost her. And so, there's the heartbreak of that. And did I quit breeding goats? Nope.
Right.
I learned a lesson about hay and putting hay back in a feeder after cows have been on it, even though it appears dry. So, I had to learn a lesson the hard way. Right. So, it's disappointing to lose an animal.
A lot of those things, like losing animals, having sick animals, it's like obviously sad. You don't want it to happen, but usually you do learn a lot from those experiences. And it's like, well, it's unfortunate that I had to learn this lesson because of this sick animal, or we lost this animal, but it ultimately makes you a better animal keeper in the long run, because you're not going to, how else would you know? You're not going to know unless something like that happens to you. So
yes, you're also going to learn a lesson when you have to replace a septic.
Yeah.
That sounds so painful. I'm sorry.
Priorities.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like a misconception too about like when people think, oh, I'm going to raise my own animals for food. It's going to be like cheaper. It's like, well, depending on where you're getting the food from, it's probably not going to be cheaper per se.
No, definitely even backyard chickens for eggs, not cheaper.
Yeah. No.
It is definitely cheaper to go to the grocery store and buy grocery store eggs.
Yep.
However, I personally feel like they taste better coming from my backyard.
Yeah, and you know how they were cared for, you know what they're eating. There's like a lot of other pluses to it. Plus, then you're not relying on the grocery store. If something happens, you just go out in your backyard. Yeah, there's a lot of different advantages to it, but I wouldn't say cost is not a big one. So,
No.
Even with growing vegetables, sometimes that can add up. That's not always cheaper either. I mean, sometimes you can go to a store and get a cucumber for like, I don't know, 60 cents. Definitely costs you more than 60 cents to grow a cucumber.
It's definitely going to cost you more than 60 cents. More than 60 cents in water to grow that cucumber too.
Right,
if you're paying a water bill.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah. We have a well, but yeah.
Yes. Something else I was thinking about, disappointment-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Injuries. So, fortunately, in in that instance, when Randy cut off his index finger, there were people here, including you. You guys were here, and that was a major pivot. It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drop everything, emergency room. That also happened during COVID. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Recovery time from that he couldn't really like do too much. It was a while, right? Like a couple months or?
I would say 2 to 3 months. It healed. It was a month before he got into the specialist.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. Maybe it was only 2 weeks before he got into the specialist. And the specialist said the ER doctor did a fantastic job and he would do nothing to change it, which is good because that would have required more healing. So it was probably 2 months, and there's still nerve sensitivity in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I annoy him and start tapping on it, it's like I'm the buzzy little fly. Anyway, yeah, there's been times where I've gotten injured on the farm, twisting an ankle, weird fluid on the knee type of thing, where I was on crutches, and you have to make changes and adjust.
Right. Yep.
Power
That's one
outages.
of my biggest fears is me getting injured.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy. Power outages is another thing that you have to adjust for, especially if you have fragile animals that need heat.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's something we have had to deal with over the winter a lot, but mostly just with water, because if we have no power, our well doesn't work, obviously. So,
right. You guys have a river near you, right?
We do. Yeah, it can be hard to. It's not like accessible. From where we are, it's not very easy to get down to it, especially if it's like in the winter and it's like snow and ice. Then it might be very precarious. But if like we needed to, we could get to it. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think actually one time, I have this vague memory of, because there's like a bridge, and obviously the bridge goes over, but it's high up the bridge. But I think Luke, for some reason, tied buckets on a rope and was pulling out water with I don't remember why we would have been doing that, but I have this like strange memory of that happening, like when we first moved here. I'll have to ask him about it.
To flush toilets, maybe?
Maybe. I don't remember. I'll have to ask. Maybe I dreamed it. I'll have to ask him, like, did that actually happen?
Was that a dream?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. So financially, things can happen. Loss of a job, threats of losses of jobs, employees laying people off, employers laying people off. So it's trying to be prepared as we can.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's it that I have as far as, just rolling with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can really, that's all you can really do. It's like, what else can you do? Like, just sit around and feel sorry for yourself? It's like, you have to, it's like, just make the best out of it. I at one point, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to even do this with the garden, moving the garden. Because we were like, I don't even know if we want to invest in soil and like whatever. And we were able to still do that. So that was nice. But yeah, it's like, you just do what you can, and that's it.
That's it.
So,
do what you can.
Yeah. And just try not to compare what you're doing to what other people are doing. That does not help at all.
Nope.
So
everybody is in different phases of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't know what sacrifices they're making to have what they have, and you don't know the story.
Right.
So,
right. I like that. I posted something probably a month ago about Randy and I are doing this homesteading thing with no inheritance, no family not that we don't have family support. We have their moral support, emotional support,
Yeah.
but not family's financial support.
Right.
This is us. We're doing this. We're not millionaires. We're just slowly making it work. And we could, if we were, just think of how pretty this place would be with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be us. That's
right. I actually said something like I was at work and we were talking about, oh, imagine if I made that much money. I was like, I don't even know what I would do. I'd buy so much mulch. The girl was like, that's what you would buy? Like, yes, piles of mulch.
So for you'd buy piles of mulch, and I would buy fencing.
Well, that too.
Fencing is so expensive.
Yeah.
I would love to have some pretty fencing.
Mm-hmm.
It is just unreal expensive.
It is crazy how everything is so much money. It's just crazy. Yep. I don't know how people do some of the stuff they do, because it's just like, it's wild, the prices of stuff. But even, just unrelated to homestead, just stuff in general, it's just so much money.
Mm-hmm. Even before, inflation and cost of living increases, or, however prices have gone up over the past 4 years, things were expensive before. Like fencing was expensive before. So It's even more expensive now.
Yeah.
Other things were just as expensive, and now they're even more expensive.
Right.
I'm going down a rabbit hole. I got to get out of that. Did you have anything else on the pivoting point?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I did go to a sourdough class last night. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was interesting. It was good. So I was like, it was interesting. It was good. It was really good, except she's a professional baker who has a bakery, who went to culinary school to be a baker, and she used yeast in her sourdough.
Oh.
And I'm like,
well, that's kind of weird.
Why are we using yeast?
Right.
And how there's always...
It wasn't like a discard recipe. It was supposed to be like an actual, like, active starter.
Well, so the active starter, as far as I know, the active starter didn't have yeast in it, but we added yeast to the mix, to the flour, water, salt, and yeast. And I was like, that's...
Did you ask why, or did anyone ask?
I did, and I felt like I want to swear. I did ask, and I felt like the complete bleep, bleep, bleep for asking, because I'm like, that's not true sourdough.
Right.
It's cheating.
Yeah.
And so it's like she gave no explanation for it, like, to the class. It's like, so she's... And ultimately what it comes down to is she's a professional baker. Time is of the essence, which is why we used yeast, because it increases your rise time.
Yeah.
But if you're making a true sourdough, you don't use yeast.
Right.
And I don't know about you, I don't need my sourdough forever. It's like, I hardly ever need it. It's like stretch and fold a few times.
no need recipes. Yeah, I don't need it at all.
We needed that bread for at least 10 minutes. The dough. We needed the dough for at least 10 minutes. And I was like, this is not how I usually make sourdough. And I'm not an expert.
Yeah. But that's interesting, because then if people were there that don't know much about sourdough, they're like, oh yeah, sourdough, you add yeast into it. And it's like, and then they're going to go buy like a book and they're going to be like, where's the yeast?
Where's the yeast?
You use wild yeast. That is what your starter is.
Yeah. So it was a really good class. It was fun. I met some interesting people. One of the ladies who I'm friends with was there. She's from the neighborhood we used to live in before we bought the farm. Her husband and Randy are close friends. It was like, surprise, Mary was there. So it was nice to see
Oh,
her.
you didn't even know? You just ran into her there?
I didn't know
fun.
that she was going.
Yeah.
She saw my post about the class, and then somebody else sent it to her. And she drove an hour to go to this class.
Oh.
And it was a 3-hour class.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tasted the bread that we made yet.
Okay. What kind of bread? Was it just like an artisanal loaf, or what kind of a bread did you make?
It is. Hold on, I'm looking. I don't know. I wouldn't call it artisanal. It's an oblong loaf in a little loaf pan.
Like a sandwich bread, kind of?
Kind of like a sandwich. It's like a sandwichy looking kind of bread, yes.
Okay.
But I think it's a King Arthur recipe. That has yeast in it.
Interesting.
But I think she only talked about the yeast after I asked. And it was like, people need to know that, you can the point of making sourdough is not to
use commercial yeast. Yeah.
Like I'm on a soapbox.
But I can understand why, if you're doing it in a commercial setting, you want it to be the same every time, and that's difficult with wild yeast. And you need it. You can't be super reliant on the temperature fluctuations. Oh, it's chillier today, so now my dough is going to take 4 hours longer. It's like, I don't get that kind of time when I'm making 50 loaves or however many loaves they make at a bakery. But
Right.
that should be explained to a class so that I don't know. But
right.
Whatever. I'm not a teacher, so and I'm not a professional baker.
I'm not a professional baker, but I feel like if people want to know how to make sourdough, they're going for the traditional method of making sourdough.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just always problems, never solutions. I don't know. Okay, I'm done.
That's funny. We should do a sourdough class at the farm trail day.
How? It takes so long.
Well, we can maybe show how to make a starter.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we could show
how to make a starter.
And show like a finished bread.
How to feed a starter. We could have different stages of it going.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think we do that. So my plan for the women veterans retreat was to actually make sourdough bread for this retreat.
Oh, yeah. Because it's you'd have the time.
But there would be the time. So they get there one day. We go over feeding the starter or, making the dough. And then it can rise overnight. And then we make the loaf. And then it does its thing. And then we put it in the oven and blah, 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 blah. I like your kitty tail.
Yeah.
Your kitty tail on your
cat. Crazy cat.
Yeah. She looks like Mitzi's tail.
Yeah. She has those same colors. Oh, Goofy.
Goofy Gus. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to remind everyone, too, that's listening for the giveaway to still check that out. We did talk about it in last week's episode, and there was an Instagram post about it. But basically, we're giving away a 30 different variety seed pack from Survival Garden Seeds. So in order to enter, just leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app. And I'm also doing bonus entries if you share the Instagram post and tag us. That's a bonus entry as well. And all the details are on the post on Instagram. So just find us there.
Fancy. Bonus points.
Yeah. So.
Bonus.
Yeah. I think we're doing that. It's going until the 10th. So there's about a week left to enter. So.
Yay. Cool.
Yeah. That's a nice little pack of seeds.
Was that you bleeping?
Yes. Sorry.
It's okay. You're allowed. It's okay. I just realized I didn't put my phone on silent.
Apparently I didn't either. At least it didn't start ringing and Indiana Jones played for everybody because that's my ringtone.
Oh. That's your ringtone for Luke, or is it your ringtone
for everybody? Yep, for
nice.
everyone.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so do you have anything else we want to talk about, or?
Nope. I'm good.
Great. So we're going to wrap it up?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, find us on Instagram. We're Figuring Out Homestead Life on Instagram. Allison is ZiegenVine Homestead on Instagram, and also on YouTube, where you can see the video version of this podcast and other videos, farm videos from their homestead. And I am Mrs. White Homemade Life on Instagram. So find us on all of the places, and we really appreciate you guys listening. And don't forget to leave us a review to be entered in for the seed giveaway.
Yay for seeds. Grow something.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.